Good morning, friends. Welcome you all. Today I am going to discuss with you the NBFC's asset liability management system. In the last few lectures, we were discussing about the NBFC's the structure given in the RBI Act 1934 about the NBFCs. The overall framework of the NBFCs given in the Reserve Bank of India 1934 Act. Today I am going to discuss with you the NBFC's asset liability management system, which is also given in the Reserve Bank of India Act in the various notifications of the Reserve Bank of India and the circulars provided by Reserve Bank of India time to time. The asset liability management system is very important from the viewpoint of any financial institution, banks, or any non-banking financial institutions or companies. So let us discuss what is that and what is the system given in the Reserve Bank of India's different notifications and circulars. Intense competition for business in the NBFCs area involving both the asset and liabilities has brought pressure on the management of NBFCs to maintain a good balance among spread of profitability and long-term viability. So there is a intense competition is there in the NBFCs area, and the management have the pressure to balance the among the asset and liabilities and the profitability of the NBFCs and the long-term viability, long-term sustainability of the company. So asset liability management is the important area to survive in the long term for NBFCs. So the imprudent means the faulty. Imprudent liquidity management can put NBFC's earning and reputation at great risk. So these pressure call for structured and comprehensive measure and not just ad hoc action. So the liquidity management is very important because it can affect the NBFC's earning and reputation, and the risk can involve there and risk can rises, and this pressure called for the structured and comprehensive measure for the action about the liquidity management and asset liability management system. So there is a structured, well designed and comprehensive measures have taken, and not just the action about the liquidity management system. So the management of NBFCs have to base their business decision on a dynamic and integrated risk management system and process driven by corporate strategy. So NBFCs management have some type of dynamic business decisions, and they should manage the risk in a structured manner and with some management system and process, or we can call it corporate strategy also. So NBFCs have the dynamic business decisions to manage all the asset and liability management system. NBFCs are exposed to several major risks in the course of their business. So any type of business faces these types of risks such as credit risk, interest rate risk, then equity, commodity price risk, liquidity risk, and operational risk. So all these risks, suppose take the example of the interest rate risk. So according to Reserve Bank of India's policy, the market interest rate changes. So according to that, NBFCs have to manage their asset and liability system. So there are various types of risk, and NBFCs have to manage all these risk, major risk in the course of their business. So it is therefore important that NBFC introduce effective risk management system that addresses the issues relating to interest rate and liquidity risk. So NBFCs should introduce or should have effective risk management system, and they should address or they should solve the problem relating to interest rate and liquidity risk arises in the market due to fluctuations in the market due to different factors affecting on it. NBFCs need to address these risks in a structured manner by upgrading their risk management and adopting more comprehensive asset liability management practices. So NBFCs have to solve and have to find the solution, address these risks in a structured manner. They should have a structured design or to manage these types of risks by upgrading their risk management, and they should have a comprehensive asset liability management practices, or they have a systematically managed or structured asset liability management system. Asset liability management system, among other functions, is also concerned with risk management and provide a comprehensive and dynamic framework for measuring, monitoring and managing liquidity and interest rate, equity and commodity price risk of major operators in the financial system that need to be closely integrated with the NBFC's business strategy. So NBFCs have different functions, but asset liability management have very much concerned with the risk management and should have provide comprehensive and dynamic framework to measure the risk, then monitor the risk and manage the liquidity and interest rate into the daily operations or in their business. So what it includes, so it involves assessment of various types of risk and altering the asset liability portfolio in a dynamic way in order to manage risk. So they should uh, assess various types of risk, and according to that they should have managed their asset and liability portfolio in a dynamic way so that the risk can be managed. The initial focus of the asset liability management function would be to enforce the risk management discipline. Managing business after assessing the risk involved, the objective of good risk management system should be this system will involve into a strategic tool for NBFC's management. So the initial focus of the asset liability management system would be on the risk management disciplines. So there are some disciplines, the rules, regulations to um, manage the risk and the assess the risk whatever the involved in the business, and the objective of the good risk management system should be that this system will involve into a strategic tool. It should be the strategy to manage risk and to assess the risk, monitor the risk and address the different areas in the asset liability management system. So it is the strategic tool for NBFCs to manage all these risks. So the asset liability management process is depend on or rest on three pillars. So what are the three pillars given in the given by Reserve Bank of India? First is asset liability management information system. So under that we have to study First is management information system, and second is information availability, accuracy, adequacy, and expediency. The second pillar of the asset liability management process is asset liability management organization. So under that, two things we have to study. First is structure and responsibilities. Second is level of top management involved. And last is asset liability management process. So first is risk parameters, second is risk identification, third is risk measurement, risk management, and risk policies and tolerance levels. So these things we have to study under the third pillar, that is asset liability management process. So let us discuss first asset liability management information system. Asset liability management has to be supported by a management philosophy which clearly specifies the risk policies and tolerance limit. So in the asset liability management system, it should be supported by management philosophy. What is the management philosophy? So different businesses, different NBFCs have their management policy. For example, take the example of Tata. So Tata groups, they have their different management policy. Infosys, they have their different management philosophy. So according to that, that business get the success. So asset liability management has to be supported by management philosophy. So it should not be different than the management policy. So this framework need to be built on a sound methodology with necessary information system as a backup. So the framework for asset liability management need to be built on the sound methodology. So sound means the strong methodology should be there, and necessary information should get to manage the asset liability system. So information is the key to the ALM process or asset liability management process. Information should get. So all things are depend on the information and information system. But the recognizing various types of business or business profiles in NBFCs, we have seen that different type of NBFCs work under the different head. So there are 10 types of NBFCs. So in the public sector and private sector, so there is not possible to adopt a uniform asset liability management system for all NBFCs. So there are various methods prevalent worldwide for measuring risk. So according to their type, they should have adopt different methodologies to measure the risk and to take the measures to different problems. So these methods are from simple gap statement to extremely sophisticated and data intensive risk adjusted profitability measurement methods. So these there are various types of methods to measure the risk. That is here some methods given, that is simple gap statement, then intensive risk adjusted profitability management method, then extremely sophisticated and data systems are there, methods are there to get the information and to take the measures on that. The central element for the entire asset liability management exercise is the availability of adequate and accurate information with expedience, and the system existing, if any, in some of the major NBFCs do not generate information in the manner required for asset liability management. So asset liability management system is depend on the information, but the information in some type of NBFCs or major NBFCs do not generate the information which is required for asset liability management system. So information is the key parameter on which the asset liability management system can be work. So collecting accurate data in a timely manner will be the biggest challenge before the NBFCs. So collecting data, data means the information, quantitative information about the operation and business of NBFCs, so that they can take the action in the bad areas. Suppose there are some doubtful loans, the loss assets, the risky asset, or they can take the measures on that, and the areas in which the loans are not recovering, or the profitability areas where they have the highest return. So this quantitative information or data helps to the asset liability management system to take the action and the to find out the problems. Otherwise the NBFC will not function efficiently, and they have the different type of risk. So information and quantitative data gives the NBFC the idea and the identification of different risk, that is we have discussed above, that is market risk, interest rate risk, liquidity risk. So if they get the idea, they can take the measure on that particular problem. But the collecting accurate data in a timely manner is the biggest challenge before the NBFCs. However, the introduction of the base information system for risk management and monitoring has to be addressed urgently. So the information management system and risk measurement and monitoring of the information system has to be addressed urgently. Next is NBFC have a different heterogeneous or varied or different type of organizational structure. So their capital base is different, their asset size is different, their management profile is different, business activities are different. There are 10 types of NBFCs. Geographical area or spread, their branches are working in a different geographical areas. So some of them have a large number of branches and agents, broker, whereas some have a unitary offices. So they have the heterogeneous or different type of organizational structure. So considering the large network of branches and the lack of adequate support system to the collect information required for asset liability management, which analyzes information on the basis of residual maturity and repricing pattern of liabilities and asset. So it will take time for NBFCs in the present state to get this requisite information. So they have, NBFCs have a large network of branches, support system to collect information required for NBFC asset liability management system. So this is the challenge before NBFCs. In respect of investment portfolio and fund management, in view of the centralized nature of the functions, it would be much easier to collect reliable information. The data and assumption can then be refined over time as the NBFC management gain experience of conducting business with an asset liability management framework. So as they get the experience of business, and as they collect the reliable information, so it will be helpful for the asset liability management system to solve the problem and address the different risk and take the different actions. Next pillar of the NBFCs is the asset liability management system is the asset liability management organization. So successful implementation of the risk management process would require a strong commitment on the part of the senior management in the NBFCs to integrate basic operations and strategic decisions making with risk management. So to successfully implement the risk management process require the management senior management support, and they should have the strong will and strong commitment to solve these or implement the risk management process. They have also the commitment to integrate basic operation and strategic decisions making for the risk management. So without the management support or management commitment, the asset liability management or risk management system cannot work successfully. The board should have overall responsibility for management of risk and should decide the risk management policy of the NBFCs and set a limit for liquidity, interest rate, and equity price risk. So the board or overall the senior management should take the responsibility to manage the risk and should decide the risk management policy. They should decide risk management policy of NBFC and set limits for the liquidity, interest rate, and equity price risk. So the asset liability management process should be supported by board of directors, board and management. Next is the asset liability committee, that is we called it ALCO. So consisting of the NBFC senior management including chief executive officer should be responsible for ensuring the adherence to the limit set by the board as well as for deciding the business strategy of the NBFCs on the asset and liability side in line with the NBFC's budget and decided risk management objective. So here the role of chief executive officer is important. So they have the chief executive officer have the responsibility to ensure that the whatever the limit set by board of management and overall management and decide, it should decide the business strategy according to that and the according to the NBFC's budget and decided risk management objective. So chief executive officer or actual operation of NBFC should support the management and board uh, to implement the responsibilities they have in the limit given by the board and management to manage the risk and work according to that. The asset liability management support group consisting of operating staff should be responsible for analyzing, monitoring, and reporting the risk profiles of the ALCO. So, the group support group consisting operating staff, actual working staff, should be responsible to analyzing, monitoring and reporting the risk profile of the ALCO, that is asset liability management committee. The staff should also prepare forecast showing the effect of various possible changes in market conditions related to the balance sheet and recommend the action needed to adhere to NBFC's internal limit. So staff should also prepare the future plan and future effect of various changes in the market conditions, and according to that it should recommend to ALCO committee the action needed to address these problems in the future. The ALCO is a decision making unit responsible for balance sheet planning from risk return perspective, including the strategic management of interest rate, liquid and liquidity risk. Each NBFCs will have to decide on the role of its ALCO, its responsibility as also the decision to be taken by it. So the ALCO is a decision making unit. It is responsible for overall balance sheet planning and risk return perspective in the future. It includes also strategic management for the to address the interest rate risk, liquidity risk, and each NBFCs will have to decide the role of ALCO committee, its responsibility, and also the decision to be taken by it. So each and every NBFC should decide the role of asset liability management committee and what decisions they can take. So the business and risk management strategy of the NBFC should ensure that the NBFC operates within the limits parameter set by the board. So business and risk management strategy of the NBFC should ensure that the NBFC will operate within the parameters or the rules or the action or strategy given by the board. So board take the action with the support of the ALCO committee, and ALCO committee is supported by the information system. So all these depend on each other, and NBFCs can run the successful business according to that. So friends, that much in this today's lecture. In the next lecture we will discuss next points. Thank you. See you in the next lecture.